You know what? I gotta give this guy a lot of credit. Goatjack, um, you're the best of the light workers so far that I can see. I I have the utmost respect for you for hanging on to this conversation. You'll really find the good light workers and the bad light workers, um, based on how they can conduct themselves. Because if you're truly peaceful and loving, you can have the conversation. And it is a challenging conversation because we're talking about life and death. And along with the death card, um, sorry, but there is, you die so many different ways. And one of them is by being a killer. And I mean, in order to die, something killed something. So it's an offensive word, and I am sorry to use that word, but it is a reality within what we're talking about. It is kind of why I am offended. Um, and to have these conversations, you've got to trust whatever it is that I'm disagreeing with. You offend me. There's nothing that I could possibly say to you that could offend you more than you offend me. But it's like you've got to sit at a peace table and have the conversation and find out, okay, well, where do we go from here? Two opposing views. If I am this offensive to you, imagine how offensive you are to me. And it's like, can we ever find out truth by sitting down and having a conversation? Or, like some light workers just go around saying, oh, bitch. It's like, oh, when you have a definition, a word to an action, and you don't like that word, you don't like the observation of here's your behavior. It's just a conversation of a behavior. This is, if you're going to be that offended, you're not much of a light worker. I mean, even I know that if I can't, if I'm not ready for the conversation, it's because I've been offended and I leave. So um it's no big loss. Like, if you don't want to be my friend, then don't be my friend. I'm not looking for. That's the part that kills me. Is like, do you really think I want killers as my friends? Seriously? Do you really, really think that I feel like I'm a really good person the more killer friends I have? No, sorry. That ain't what I'm looking for. And if you want to be a killer, go be a killer. I just ask you why you want to kill and do so much harm, but go be a killer. I ain't fighting you no more. All I'm going to do is sort of point the finger. Now, I still feel the same way of this goat, Jack, but in one way, shape, or form, we're all killers, so even me, I've been guilty of it, so it's not like I'm calling until I realized, oh, death. The human body's designed to live forever, kind of getting it. Until then, I was just as guilty as everybody else. And until I quit smoking, I am still guilty. And some of the things that I purchase, just because of the matrix that we live in, I'm going to be guilty of still being this killer. So it's not like my hands are clean while I'm making the observation. I just know that if you're intentionally going to think that, okay, death is the right direction, I'm going to just call a spade and say, well, in order for everybody to die, somebody's got to kill them. Somebody's got to motivate everybody to have the influence to die. So it's like, if you can put enough brainwashing in there and say death is the way to go, love it. If you are putting any energy out there that gets some poor soul thinking, oh, okay, let me go kill myself, then you've influenced them to kill themselves. And that is like being a killer. Sorry. That's how I view it. But if you want to be offended by that, you can't even have the conversation. It's like, you're not ready to face yourself. And the threat of, oh, you were my friend, you were never, ever, ever my friend. And this is to the guy that's leaving that got offended. A light worker that called me a bitch, said I've closed minded. It's like, how? How is it that I can have a closed mind but he doesn't? I mean, if there's two people in a conversation with a closed mind, how is it only one person has the closed mind? That doesn't make any sense. It's the weirdest phenomenon. Either I'm open minded if I get swayed into believing somebody else's ideas. Like, where is the example of an open mind? Like, it makes no logic sense. If you got an open mind, you got an open mind. These light workers have a completely closed mind, and if you don't believe their way, then you got a closed mind. And that's like a controlling person. I had an ex that does that all the time. Whenever he wanted to do his own thing and I was kind of against it, he would accuse me of being controlling. And it's like, oh, I got to prove that I'm not controlling, so I always let him have his way. So that's almost like what controlling people do, is they say, oh, there you are, you're controlling. So then you got to prove to them that you're not controlling because you don't like to be called, controlling. They're the ones that are controlling. So that's how they always manipulate you into that trap. Just the same way as light workers will always accuse you of having a closed mind if you don't follow their beliefs. And their belief is you gotta die. It's all about death. It's all about the torture. It is all about love, and everything bad about this hell on earth you're supposed to enjoy and die from it. And if you don't believe in that, apparently you have a closed mind. And I'm just saying that I think your mind is closed if you can't be open to a different perspective. But again, I give this guy, this goatjack, at least the courage for still hanging in there. He's not getting offended by words. But I'm still not seeing any answers. The last video was like, and it's like, doesn't make any logic sense. Even any word that did come up, it's like, did that answer? Did that give you an answer? Like, where's the point? Where's that conclusion there? I didn't see it at all. So it's like, if we're going to make some points about something, let's sort of make the points very, very clear so I can understand it without a doubt. And I'm kind of wondering why you'd want to go to a yogi for an answer. If a yogi never found any answers in the past, why would they think you had an answer there? So I'm looking forward to it. Usually yogis in India just didn't know how to solve any problems, so they just sort of loved their poverty and said, oh, this must be just the way things are. Let's just hurry up and die. So I don't think that they actually overcame any problems. If they did, they would have let everybody know that they overcame some problems and we wouldn't be where we are today. But clearly they didn't solve any problems, so that's why they're stuck on the death card. Just an observation. Peace out.